सेव किया था ना?
मैं सिर्फ इसलिए गया था क्योंकि उसने मुझे कॉल किया, that's it. But listen though.
Save it for someone else.
जिंदगी में सेव करना जरूरी है, मगर जब बात पैसों की हो, सिर्फ सेविंग से काम नहीं चलेगा। इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स में इन्वेस्ट कीजिए और अपने सेविंग्स को आगे बढ़ने का मौका दीजिए।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
I'm in Pokhara, Nepal's second largest city, the city famous for its beautiful silver lakes. You can't see the lakes from where I am because I'm sitting in the balcony of my hotel in Pokhara, but if you look closely, you can see the outline of the Himalayas right behind me. They are absolutely enormous white chunks of mountain just overlooking this absolutely beautiful city, a city that's very, very loved by people the world over. It's the city of tourism in Kathmandu. This is where the trek for the Annapurna base camp begins. But I'm here in Pokhara and traveling across Nepal to cover the elections. Nepal goes to the elections on the 20th of November, just a few days from now, a couple of days from now, when Nepal votes. It's a big country, right from the Terai, the open border between India and Nepal, a few hundred kilometers, right up to the mountains of Nepal, bordering China. So this country straddled between India and China is going to the polls. This is a fascinating election in some ways. The traditional parties, there are two coalitions actually. The one coalition, a 5-member coalition led by the Nepali Congress, which is led by Sher Bahadur Deuba. And in this alliance, you have Prachanda's Maoist Center, Prachanda, of course, whose real name is Pushpa Kamal Dahal. Then you have the Madhav Nepal's party. You have Mahanta Thakur, who is a Madhesi leader. And on the other side is the former Prime Minister KP Oli. He is the leader of his UML party, the United Marxist-Leninist Party. And also in his alliance, you have the pro-monarchy Rashtriya Prajatantra Party. You have Upendra Yadav, who is a big Madhesi leader. So basically what I'm trying to say is that these are the two alliances that are confronting each other in this election. But you would say, so what? What's the big deal? This is what happens every 5 years in Nepal. But remember, democracy is not that old. It was only in 2006 when the Jan Andolan took place, that is the People's Andolan. The monarchy was forced to step down and pave the way for full multi-party democracy. A similar experiment had happened in 1992. At that time, King Birendra, who saw the writing on the wall and gave in to protests then carried out by led by the Nepali Congress. But this Jan Andolan, so basically less than 20 years. But if you look at the whole experiment with democracy in this beautiful Himalayan republic, now republic, earlier kingdom, it's about 30 years old. And not one of them has lasted its full 5-year term. And this has given way to a great deal of disillusionment, especially by the young people. There's a large swathe of the young cutting across Nepal, cutting across political sentiment, like in every other country in South Asia, including India. And a lot of young people are saying they are fed up. They don't want to vote for these same old faces again and again and again, who, by the way, have crossed they crossed parties. They have shaken hands with opponents. They have disavowed them again in the next election. Sometimes you don't even need to vote. They're just sharing power again and again and again. So Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba, who is the outgoing Prime Minister, right now he's in alliance with Prachanda against KP Oli. But Prachanda and KP Oli have come together to share power. Deuba and KP Oli have come together to share power. So this merry-go-round in Nepali politics people are saying that they're absolutely fed up with what's going on. So a young crop of Nepali politicians, many of them independent, some of them belonging to a political party, It's elbowing its way through into the Nepali political firmament. There's even a Facebook page that reflects this disenchantment, this disillusionment with politics. The hashtag is called No Not Again. And what is interesting is that the Nepali Election Commission tried to ban this Facebook page, but the Supreme Court had to intervene and say that this is freedom of speech and expression. You can't do that. In fact, a few days ago, one of the younger politicians, a doctor, a general surgeon called Toshima Karki. She belongs to the Rashtriya Swatantrata Party, again a very small party. There was this attempt to ban her from contesting, but the Supreme Court has intervened again. So this Nepali Supreme Court very much on the side of the people, of freedom of speech, of expression, of protest, of dissent. Let me give you a few more names of these younger people who are trying to make themselves heard in Nepali politics. There is Rabi Lamichhane. He is a former TV star. He had a show on News 24, which is a big network here, a sort of a sting journalism kind of show where he put people together, whether officials, politicians, with people on the same screen, people protesting against these officials and politicians. He brought them together and he forced people to answer. So basically, the people who wanted a voice, so Rabi Lamichhane basically gave them their voice through his TV show. Today, he's fighting in Chitwan, which is a constituency in the southern part of Nepal, like a middle south part of Nepal. It also has a very, very beautiful national park. Chitwan too is where he's fighting from, and it is expected that he will win. If he does win, that is going to be a huge upset in Nepali politics, because he's really a nobody. He's fighting this election, and he is against, by the way, very big political stalwarts, both from KP Oli's party as well as from the ruling Gathbandhan led by the Nepali Congress. The man who set this all off a few months ago is a young, 32-year-old young man called Balen Shah. He's a rapper, a Nepali rapper. He's been making music for the last 10 years. He also did his civil engineering from a university in Karnataka. And 5 months ago, when elections to the local bodies took place, Balen Shah stood as mayor of Kathmandu city. Now that's a big deal, because the role of the mayor is an important one. He enjoys real power. So he has a budget of 25 billion Nepali rupees. And I spoke to Balen Shah, and a very smart young man dressed in all black. When I wanted to take his picture, he stood against this backdrop of green foregrass. And you can see the picture on the screen. Very, very sharp young man, very soft-spoken, speaks beautifully. And he told me that he reflects this disenchantment with the, say, merry-go-round of Nepali politics. Now, Balen Shah said that with his budget, he's trying to improve the city. And there's a lot to be done in Kathmandu. So whether it's cleaning public parks from private encroachment, putting money into schools. He says he has trebled the education budget, improving the health systems, introducing a sort of mohalla clinic in every ward. So you would say that this is an Arvind Kejriwal, Aam Aadmi type of politics, and you will not be far wrong if you come to that conclusion. The point is that there is a great deal of disillusionment with the traditional Nepali politics. It's not that they are going away. The Nepali Congress is here to stay. KP Oli, Chairman KP Oli and former Prime Minister, he is here to stay. But in this election in Nepal, it would be really interesting to see how many votes and how many seats these younger people get, whether they're fighting as independents or they're fighting as members of these new political parties, battling the old. Will the young win? That's the big question. So follow me as I travel across Nepal and bring to you the stories from this absolutely beautiful Himalayan republic. This is Jyoti Malhotra in Pokhara for The Print.